Today, guys, we'll start the switch troubleshooting command. Okay. First we start with the show logging command. Like this command is very useful when you're doing the troubleshooting on a router as well as Cisco switches. Okay. So if you see, guys, like this command show logging, so mainly, guys, like if you see these three line, okay, console and monitor and buffer. Okay. So the buffer basically, guys, like when you're running this command show logging, you are checking the log in a buffer. Okay. It's like all my syslog. Okay, let's say आपका in case your port showing down, or let's say your port moved to error disable due to some reason. Okay, you have a, let's say, MAC flapping. So any issue occur, guys, like you will switch basically generate the syslog message. And believe me, guys, like this syslog message, okay, very useful when you're doing the troubleshooting. Okay, so they will allow you to start the troubleshooting. So let's say if your port bent down because of BPDU, then the next step is that like this is basically happened. This port is bent to the error disabled state due to the BPDU reason. Okay, then you will further like start the troubleshooting. Okay. So this log message, guy, like you need to know how we configure on a switch. Okay, and how we can check. Okay. The first thing, like if you see by default, like when you accessing the switches through SSH or telnet, you won't see the log message. Okay. So let's say, guys, like on this switches, if you, let's say, configuring the port, okay, let's say gigabit 0 shutdown and no shutdown, you see, like we are not seeing any log message. So here, guys, like the way we can configure this log setting. Okay. So one is like logging buffer. This command basically allow you to store the log into the buffer. Okay. And you can also define the label. So this level 7, okay, 70 level 7. This means, guys, like this is the highest level. If you configure 7, which is by default, okay, so this means, guys, like all your log will be stored on a buffer. Okay. The second thing, guys, like you can also increase the size of this buffer. Okay. And by default, the size of the buffer, I believe, so logging buffer, yeah, the size, by default, guys, like the size we have a 4096. Again, guys, depend like how many log you want to store in your buffer. Definitely, guys, like you will increase the size of the buffer so that, guys, like you can see the maximum log. Okay. So these are the two commands. Definitely, guys, like you will configure on all your switches, on all your router to see the maximum log in the buffer. Okay. And the way we can see the log, simply like show logging. So this is a command to see the buffer log. Okay. And you can see like here all my syslog message. Okay. And if you see, this is a spanning tree syslog message, and this is a 75 number. Okay. All the debug messages, guys, they have a 70 level number, that is 7. Okay. So these are like link up, down. These are 75. And you see, like I can see like how many port is up or down. And even, guys, you will see like each log showing the date and time. Okay. So let's say, guys, like if you want to see the previous log, again, you can see the buffer. Okay. But again, this buffer has some limit. Okay. That's why, guys, like in the real world, we are also sending the log message to our syslog server. So the way we can configure like logging host, this is a command. So we need to define the IP address of our syslog server. So this syslog server, guy, like they have a lot of storage, okay, where you can see the maybe the one month log, okay, or maybe 2 month log. So that's why, guy, like this log message is very helpful, okay, when you're doing the troubleshooting. The second thing, guy, like the command we have on the switching, okay, which is show interface gigabit switch port. Okay. So this will basically show you all the layer 2 feature of the port. And this is again, like I have seen like sometime your port in inactive state. This means, guys, like when you see, let's say this port, this is my access port, okay, and we have assigned the VLAN number 100, 300. But in case, guys, this VLAN, if this VLAN don't exist your switch database, maybe, guys, this is happened because of BTP or accidentally, like some of your engineer, okay, they deleted the VLAN, but all the port which are part of the VLAN which you deleted, okay, accidentally, they will lose the connectivity, okay. In this case, guys, like your port will be show inactive state, okay. So inactive means that means this VLAN not exit on your switch database. So this is like very useful command, okay, when you're seeing the layer 2 properties, okay. The third command, guys, like we have, which is show interface status. So this is like very useful command. So let's say, guys, like if you have any duplex mismatch, or if you have let's say any error, okay. So like let me show you guys this command. Like on a core one, if you see, even I'm seeing some of half duplex log message, but you see like this command, guy, like show interface status. This command, guy, like very useful, okay, because this will show you these are my link, and these are like currently connector state. And if your port is down, then here, guy, like you will see the status of node connected, okay. This is, guy, look like logically device, okay, in Eve. That's why they are showing all my port connected. But in the real world, guy, let's say if you have any issue, your port is not up, okay. So here you will get the message not connected. And also, guy, like this will show you like all the port, what the speed setting and duplex setting. So if you see any port in half duplex, definitely like in half duplex, okay, you will have an issue. So in case, guys, if your any port goes in half duplex, okay, you will see the error. Let me show you, let's say interface gigabit 0 So this command, guys, like if you see your late collision, this number is increasing. This means, guys, like your interface in half duplex, okay. And definitely, like you will get the slowness issue. If let's say any link coming in the middle, okay, from A to B, and that link we have in half duplex, and we are sending the communication from A to B, and you are getting the problems like a slowness connection. So this might be the issue, okay. So make sure, guys, like end to end you have a full duplex connectivity. And also, guys, like this duplex issue also detected via CDP protocol. So if your CDP is on, they will detect like my neighbor, they are running in half duplex. That's why, guys, like you can also figure out this half duplex issue through via CDP also. But if your CDP is disabled, okay, you will not see this log message. Okay? So this command, guy, like you see, like I always use, okay, show interface status. So this will show you like all the port. But let's say if you're doing the troubleshooting for a single port, then you can also run the command show interface, then the interface number and the status, okay. Again, main thing, like we are seeing the here our duplex setting and speed setting. So here, guys, like if you see this aim is they are auto negotiating the duplex and speed, okay. There is two way to like configure this setting, okay. Like by default, they have auto negotiation setting is on. But the other way, guys, like you can also manually define the speed and the duplex setting, okay, under the interface. And then, guys, like the next command we have on switching, which is again show interface status, okay. In case, guys, like if your port goes to error disable, so what is your next step? Okay. Like here, guys, like if you see on my this access switch, again, guys, like I will run the same command, which is show interface status. So if you see, guys, like this command, one of my port showing in error disable. And guys, like if you see the status, okay, like the way we can check the status normally show IP interface brief, my port is up or down. But in switches, guy, like as I told you, I always use this command, okay, show interface status. So here, guy, like if you see show IP interface brief, your port is showing down. They are not like giving them much information, okay. Like here, guy, like you can clearly see via this command, your port is down, but actually this port in error disable. The next step, guy, like you need to know what reason this port went to error disable. Okay. There's a lot of reason, guy, like your port went to the error disable. Like one is like port security, or either via BPDU, or either via ether channel. There's a lot of reason. Okay, let me show you like all the reason. Like here, guy, like if you want to know the reason, the command is like simply show interface again. So gigabit 0 via 1 status and error disable. Okay. So this will, guy, like give me the reason. Okay, due to BPDU guard, my port went to error disable. Okay. So in order to, guys, like make this port functional, okay, we know that again, like once my port went to error disable, we manually say shutdown and no shutdown. The first thing, like we need to figure out, okay, why my port went to error disable. Now here, guys, like I believe I have configured the BPDU guard feature, and as my this switch, okay, they are sending the BPDU this port. Because normally, guys, this command we enable on our edge port, right? Do that because like the end devices, they are not sending any BPDU to switch. But we never use, guys, this command between switch to switch, okay? So here, guys, like I need to disable this feature. So let's say in order to configure this port functional, okay? So we will remove the command gigabit 0 via 1. So this command, guy, like we never use between switch to switch, okay? We always configure this command on our edge port. So we'll remove this command like gigabit. And once we remove this command, again, my port in error disable, okay? So we need to manually shut or no shut. So this is a manual way. We have one other way, which is the automatic way. So in the automatic way, like we can also configure the, let's say, error disable recovery, and we can configure, let's say, cause. So any reason, if my interface went into the error disable, it will recover itself. So you can define the cause. So here, guys, like if you see, there is a lot of reason, okay? Like in our case, my port went into the error disable because of BPDU guard. But you see, like there is other like ARP inspection. Here, guys, like I have seen this common issue, okay? If sometime, guys, like in the real world, my interface is flapping up, down, up, down. So the switch have, guys, they have a default mechanism, okay? So by this feature, the port went to error disable, okay? So this, let's say maybe you have some hardware issue, and because of that hardware issue, you are continuously getting up, down, up, down. Then, guys, like to stop this log message, okay, they will put the port in error disable, and the reason is basically showing link flap. So there is like a lot of reason your port can be goes to error disable. But here, guys, like, let's say you say cause all. So I want to recover the port. If the port goes to error disable, okay, and you can also configure the timer, okay, like how long it will take to recover, okay, let's say 60 seconds, okay, but this will only recover once you fix the issue, okay. Like in my case, if I remove this command, and as this command is already configured, we don't need to say manually shut or no shut. It will recover automatically. But the first thing, like we need to fix the issue, okay? We need to fix the issue. And once we fix the issue, and that port automatically recover to the error disable, okay, via this command. Okay. And the next command, guys, like we have a switch troubleshooting command, okay? Especially like when we connecting the layer 2 port to our router, okay? So on the router, guys, generally, guys, like we never care, okay? So let's say, guys, like if we want to configure the IP address to the router or any layer 3 device, okay, we are not doing any configuration on this port, okay? So we are just leaving like a default configuration, okay? And we simply give the IP address to my router 10.1.1.1. And as we know, guys, like some of the protocol, okay, like by default, this switch has less CDP on, dynamic trunking protocol on, okay? They are continuously sending, or maybe the DPDU message, okay? They are continuously sending the packet to this port, okay, router port. And any protocol which router don't understand, okay, like DTP, they don't know, they will basically show you like on protocol drop or maybe input error, okay? This counter is like increasing on this interface because we are not blocking these protocol on the switch level, okay? So generally, like if you see, if we like simply configuring the one VLAN on the router and on the core side, on the switch side, we are simply not configuring any configuration to the port, okay, which is the default configuration. So this port is basically working on a layer 1, okay. This is basically, sorry, working in a VLAN 1, okay. So this port, like as we know, like if you see the DTP protocol, okay, so DTP is on by default. So if you want to disable the DTP, simply like there is command switch port mode access. Like sometime like I have seen, if you want to configure this port on a single VLAN, generally like people are using only this command, okay, switch port access VLAN 10. But they are not using this command, okay, switch port mode access. So this command, guys, basically disabling the DTP. So I believe, guys, like if you're watching my CCNA or CCNP video, I have explained this thing, okay, why we are using this command. So once we configure this command, we are disabling the DTP message. Again, guys, like if this interface CDP is off, maybe, guys, like we also want to disable the CDP, because if you one side, if the CDP disable and the other side is on, still we are sending the CDP packet to the router, which is again for a router, because on a router we have disabled the CDP. So this is also considered as an unknown protocol. To stop this like packet, okay, we can like configure the switch port. So as per our requirement, we can disable the DTP, we can disable the CDP also. Okay. And then the next command, guy, like we have a looping, spanning tree looping. So again, guy, like by default, like STP, they are basically widening the loop. But sometimes we have an issue either via physical problem or via software problem, okay. So make sure, guys, like when you're doing the spanning tree configuration, okay, that is already configured. But guys, in addition, we also need to enable the loop guard feature and UDL. So I'm not going very explain these, but these features do, okay. But again, guys, like let's say you have this block port, okay. If anyhow this block port not receiving the BPDU, they will basically forward the traffic through this block port, okay. So to protect this, guys, issue, okay, we also use this additional feature in STP. One is like loop guard, okay, and if we have, let's say, any physical issue, especially with the fiber cable, because in the fiber cable, guy, like we have a 2-channel, okay, one is TX, one is RX. Sometimes, guy, like let's say if you have issue only with RX channel, okay, like this side, we are not receiving any BPDU, and then this port will start forwarding the traffic, and we have a unidirectional loop. Okay. So So in order to solve this physical issue, make sure you have a UDLD on your fiber link. Okay. So make sure, guys, like when you configuring the STP, you are using this additional protection, okay, like a loop guard as well as the UDP. So again, guys, like if you want to see this feature more, you can watch my CCNP video. Okay, but my point is, guys, like mainly like when you're using STP, make sure you're using this feature. Okay, like root loop guard as well as the UDLD. Okay. The next thing, guys, like if you see the command, which is show interface counter error. So this will basically, guys, like show you your output queue, which is like also known as like out discarded or out lost. Okay. So let's say maybe, guys, like you have configured the QoS, or your switch is sending the traffic, okay, and you are receiving like very large amount of traffic. So this output queue is basically, you are seeing it is full. Okay. And once your output queue is full and they don't have a capacity to handle the extra traffic, you will see like this counter will be continuously increasing. Okay. You need to figure out, guys, like maybe this is because of your speed or duplex setting. Maybe like let's say you have a 10 GB port and somehow accidentally they are working on a 1 Gbps. Or maybe, guys, like in your network, there's too much traffic, okay? Then you, in that case, you need to figure out, okay? Maybe in this case, guys, like you need to upgrade your hardware, okay? You need to figure out, guys, like if this counter is continuously increasing, that means, guys, like you need to figure out, okay, like this is my leaving interface, what traffic we are sending, what is the utilization, what is the MTU, and I believe there is one command. You can also increase the size of the queue. But again, guys, like it depends. It can be like the actual issue. The actual issue, that means like you in your network, there's too much traffic going through via this interface, and this interface don't have a capacity to handle the traffic. Okay. Other thing, guys, like you need to see is everything is fine, or this interface, speed setting, duplex setting. Make sure this interface not in a half duplex. Okay. The rest, guys, troubleshooting command, like let's see about the ether channel or about the HSRP, we will cover those commands like while we are covering the topic. The next, guys, my command is, which is again related with the Ethernet port issue. So again, this is, let's say you have a hardware issue, okay, and end to end, you want to test my physical connectivity is okay or not. So there is like one test, okay, which is known as TDR test. So like I believe like to perform the TDR test, we have a tool also. But even, guys, like let's say if you don't have a tool to test the TDR, this is a tool, guys, like to end-to-end check the cable connectivity for Ethernet, guys. I'm not talking about fiber, okay, which is time domain reflectometer. But in case, guys, like let's say you are managing the switch through a remote and you want to see like end-to-end connectivity is fine or not, you can also run the TDR testing via this command. So you can, let's say if you find any issue, let's say your end device is connected to via this port, you can run this command like test TDR interface this, and after that, guys, like you can see the result, okay, via this command, and make sure like all your these 4 pair, okay, they are showing should be terminated. Okay. In case, guys, like if you're not seeing that this result, okay, terminated, and if you see the other result, let's say either open or shorted, there is some physical issue, okay, from end to end. Maybe there is issue with your patch cable. You need to figure out, guys, like end to end physically. But the point is, guys, like the make sure the result should be the terminated. Okay. This is how you can also test the physical connectivity end-to-end for the Ethernet port. Yeah, that is it. That is it all, guys. Like for the switching troubleshooting command. Any question regarding? So let me again.
No, sir. Terminal.
Let me go to the again from the starting. Okay. So first show logging. So terminal later, guys. Like as I told you, by default, we are not seeing the log message through the remote line. So in the remote line, when we see the live log, okay, we always use this command, terminal monitor. So right now, like we are accessing the switch through a console. That's why showing you are already in logging console. But this command, guy, like we use when we want to see the live log on our virtual line, VTY, which is either SSH or Telnet. Then, guy, like because this log message, guy, like this will give you the clue, like what's going on in your switches. Maybe you see the MAC flap error, your STP log message, your BPD log message. They will, guys, like basically give you the next step to start the troubleshooting. Okay. So let's say if your CPU goes high, then guys, like I show you this command, which is basically show you the layer 2 feature. So like this I have seen like varies. Maybe this is also interview question. Okay. What if like your interface showing inactive? This means, guys, like the VLAN which we assign to this port, that VLAN does not exist on your switch. Okay. So again, this show interface status, this is, I told you, like when we are seeing the error disabled status, or we are seeing the port duplex and speed setting. Okay. The show interface status, guy, like this is the first command, like I'm seeing instead of show IP interface brief, I always check like what is the interface status, are they showing connected or not? Yeah, any question, guys?
Actually, in our environment, we are getting same that discard packets in a particular time of the week. How to troubleshoot that? Actually, we are not able to understand why it's happening. Sometimes it's happened near about 1 hour, after that it's gone.
So this one out discard yourself.
Yeah. Lots of packet discard, and also it's showing. I forget the perfect words. Means it's showing that the the interface utilization is too high, and this discard packets.
Yeah, it's only like that. This means like either you have if you check like all the setting of the interface, okay, everything is fine, then there is too much traffic going through via this port. Okay, so the next step you need to figure out, like if you have a net flow on your network, you can figure out what are my top talker, what are the source and destination IP they are sending that amount of traffic, maybe 1 GB, 2 GB. So you can figure out like who are the top talker in my network. Okay, what are the source and destination IP, and is this traffic is good or bad? Okay. So next, like you need to monitor the traffic, okay, through our net flow. If it like
net flow is a solar tools, right?
No, net flow. Yeah, you can also enable the net flow on a solar wind, yeah. But again, depend like you have a license or not for.
Yeah, we have one license.
Yeah.
It's solar. Okay, got it. And one more thing, so that is test the TDR for the fiber. Is same kind of things is there?
No, fiber like we have a command like show interface, then the number transceiver. You will see the signal strength RX and TX for the fiber.
Okay.
This test is only for Ethernet.
Okay.
I have a question regarding this because your interface counter. Are you aware about this cut-through issue?
Sorry?
Interface cut-through issue.
No. Can you more explain what? Maybe I don't know the cut-through.
Okay, so let's say there are multiple ports configured over, let's say, server or a client. If a particular interface is dropping a packet, or we are getting TRC errors on the particular interface, or input errors, the errors are transmitted all over the ports.
Okay.
Yeah, and we are not sure. I mean, we are not sure how to identify who is the culprit.
Okay, who is the culprit? Okay. Again,
Yeah.
like if you see this CRC error, okay, yeah, still, like let's say you have a 4-port going to the device, okay, you will like perform the basic step. Like let's say you have a CRC error, you can see the like maybe this is because of a bad cable or bad port, okay. So you can like monitor. Let's say you have a 4-port. Maybe this is because of a bad cable or maybe bad port. Okay, you can let's say disable one port and monitor it like for let's say 2 or 3 days because you're let's say you have a 4-port.
I understand that, but the thing is, let's say I'm having one switch to switch link, and on both the switches, all around 48 ports they are engaged. Okay. Now, out of those 48 ports, only one interface is having issue, but because that interface is having issue, we are seeing errors on all the interfaces. It is showing the output errors or input errors or CRC errors, whatever it is, on all the interfaces just because one link is problematic. And we need to trace only one link.
I cut through. Why we are seeing the error on the other port if only one port having the issue? Yeah,
I think so. We will have to Google it.
like I remember like it depend like you see like when we have this is my switch, okay, this switch, let's say we have a port 1 to 16, and if we have a let's say ASIC, all the port, if they are sharing this ASIC, okay, basically that means like I can see like if let's say if the issue with this hardware, it can impact all the port, okay. But these days like some of the switches, they are coming with a dedicated ASIC chip, okay. So every port they have a dedicated ASIC chip. So if the issue with one port, it won't be impacted to the definitely the other port. Okay. I remember basically you're talking about a switching method which is cut through, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I read about this earlier, like there is switching method, okay, cut through. Yeah, okay, give me the more detail, okay, about any link, okay, I will go through the link and I will come back to you now, okay?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I faced this issue like cut through, okay, like I was like with Cisco tech call, okay, and we are also discussing the same thing. That is a long time back, okay, I forget now. But yeah, give me the link. I will definitely go through the link and I will get back to you, man. So,
thank you.
Okay. Any other question, guys?
Right. Do we have any just PDF or any link just like TDR and Ethernet cable for the fiber?
Yeah, you can simply use this command like for fiber, like which is I showed you on a Google. The command is like your interface. Yeah, this one. So mainly fiber, we are using this. Let's say if you getting the issue for the fiber connection interface, let's say any interface, okay, 101 transceiver. Mainly, yeah, this is, you can also see the detail. This is a command to troubleshoot the connection, okay. And mainly like we are seeing the synchronous strength RX and
EX.
yes. This show me the. This is a command like those who are working, they can run and see. So say transceiver. Yeah, this is the command. Show interface capability and transceiver. So yeah, I will give you the output. Let's say
Okay.
go to the images. Yeah, this is basically I believe the old one. But if you see, mainly we are basically talking about this signal, okay, RX and TX power. What is the output we are getting? Okay, so then there is index. Okay, they will show you which is the low strength, which is high strength. Okay, if you see we are hitting the low strength, or we are then this is the issue. Okay, then maybe in this case you will change your fiber cable, or you will change your SFP, reinsert your SFP.
Okay.
Yeah,
bye.
this case, oh,
Here.
gone. I was
Okay.
talking about that image only.
Okay.
Okay. My last question is show logging. First of all, we have to enable, or after that, when
no,
we
show logging, like the command which I show you, logging buffer, that is by default on. You can
logs.
simply, yeah, you can simply see like a buffer logging. If there is, like, let's say someone
we need to disable after that one when the logs will be
no. We don't need to disable, like only debug message, like we are enable and we are disabling the debug message. Okay, but other log, they are automatically generated. Okay, if someone, let's say, already configured no logging buffer, you see, like you can see like logging buffer is disabled. That means like someone is already configured this command on the devices. So this command basically not allow you to save the log message into the buffer. So make sure this command is on, which is by default on, logging buffer, and this will allow you to store the log message into the buffer. Okay, and this is a
but generally disable. But generally
it is enabled. That is by default
enable, right?
Right.
By default disable, right?
All right.
Okay. Okay, bye. Thanks.
Any question?
Hello.
Yes. Yes, sir, Abhishek. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Abhishek.
सर लिंक स्लैपिंग के बारे में मुझे जानना था, और फिजिकल प्रॉब्लम और लॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम को डिफरेंशिएट
Link flap, like, mainly happen, okay, up and down because of physical issue mostly. In that case, like, try to change the cable first, or try to change the port. Or as I told you, like sometime, like, because in my past experience, I have seen this issue, okay, link flap, and sometime port went to error disable because of the link flap. So again, the troubleshooting start with the, mostly this issue happened because of physical problem. So in the physical problem, like, always either first try to change the cable. If that won't work, then try to change the port.
So when the port goes into error disabled state due to the flaps, I forgot about the protocol going in background. It continuously checks for the link. Is it UDLT or?
No, I'm not getting. So UDLT, I believe, these feature not putting the port in error disable, they are putting the port in inconsistent state. Like loop guard is putting the port in inconsistent state. That is not error disable, first thing.
Broken fiber other cabling port issues can cause one-way communication.
And UDLT put the port in error disable. The UDLT feature only put the port error disable, not loop guard. This is just like, because I remember. So yeah.
Right, it checks for the link flaps or one-way communication.
So link flap is not only with the fiber. You can also see the link flap in Ethernet port also. But yes, so UDLT, I believe, like, only help if, let's say, you have one side communication happening, not is like in fiber we have a two channel, right, RX and TX, and it will basically detect the, let's say, if you have a one side communication, okay, and maybe the flapping is different thing, okay, up down, totally port is going up down, that is not detected by the UDLT, okay. But again, switch have by default the mechanism. So if again your port is up down, they will completely put the port into the error disable, okay. So then again, as I told you, like most of the time you have this issue, up down issue, this is because of physically problem. So you will follow the same thing, okay? Either try to change the cable or try to change the port, Rahul.
Yes, okay.
Questions, guys? Yes. Go ahead.
Hello, sir.
हाँ जी बोलो क्वेश्चन पूछो. Yes, Mohammed.
So sometimes we see like two endpoints that are on same VLAN, like printer and PC. So other like users they can printer, but one of the endpoints can't communicate with the printer. They are on same VLAN.
So two machines, they are in the same VLAN and they are communicating to the printer. One is able to reach the printer and other is not, right? This is your concern, right?
Yeah. Like, and sometimes we have like one endpoint that's connected to one VLAN, so it doesn't work. But if we move to another VLAN, it will work. And like just confused like this.
Is there any ACL applied on the core switch?
No, we always do like the firewall part, the policies. There's no ACL count.
In this case, like simply like when you start doing the troubleshooting with any application, okay. Let's say you have this is my core switch and this is my access switches, and here we have a printer server, okay. So we have a two VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. So VLAN 10, they are able to communicate with the printer, okay. However, VLAN 20, they are not able to continue. They are not able to communicate with the printer, okay. So let's say like this PC is complaining. We always first, with the printer, they use the TCP transport. You can check the printer port. What is the TCP port printer application use? Simply go to the end machine, okay, and then check the connectivity via telnet, then the printer IP, and the printer port. So this output. Sorry?
Not work. We just used to ping, and
no.
We are not getting any.
Ping is not useful, right? This case, ping is only the layer 3 connectivity. We want to check the connectivity on the port, okay. So you can check like what printer port using on a server, okay. So you can test this telnet command on from the VLAN 10 as well as from the VLAN 20 also, okay. Working scenario as well as a non-working scenario. So ping, guys, like as I told you, maybe like if you see my troubleshooting technique video, okay, which we talk about later, but the way we start the troubleshooting, okay, from the end machine, the one simple way, guys, like instead of ping, okay, always check the connectivity on a layer 4. So first you need to figure out the application which year you're doing troubleshooting, that application work on a which port. So normally, guys, like 80% your application use TCP, and rest of your application they use UDP. Okay. So the method which I'm telling you, that is only helpful for the TCP transport application. Okay. So let's say if we're doing telnet, and if I want to see whether my Google is working fine or not, so instead of doing ping to Google, okay, this is the one way like normally we use we can ping the Google, that means we have a connectivity, okay. Instead of ping, always try to do telnet, okay. So google.com. Again, you here, guys, like you need to define the port, okay. Like Google work on TCP port 443, which is your HTTPS. So we will test the Google on 443, okay. Well, let's say, guys, like let's say this Google DNS This is also working on a port. This is also listening on port 443. You can simply say telnet destination IP and destination port. By default, this application on Windows machine, this is disabled. So if you remember, like I show you how to enable this feature, okay? Like go to the control plan and program and feature. Turn the window feature on and off, and you can enable the telnet, okay? Once this service is enabled, and normally, guys, like we always on this service, at least on my laptop or a machine, because we are the network engineer, we always test the connectivity to the port, okay? And once this connectivity is telnet service on, you can test the application on a port, okay? So if you see now, if you see this blank screen, okay, that means your telnet connection is established. You can simply check like CMD, netstat. So let's say CMD. And you can simply like parallelly can check netstat -an. So my connection is gone now. Let me again initiate the traffic. And if we say, let's say enter, and you can see, guys, like here, all my connection, okay, which are established or which I'm listening, okay. So if you see the connection for 8.8.8, so this is my funnel flow and showing established. So always check the connectivity. This is how we check the connectivity on a port. This is basically next step, okay, as compared to the ping, because ping is only check the connectivity up to layer 3. This step is checking the connectivity up to a layer 4. So make sure, like Mohammed, you first find the printer port, then telnet the printer port from the working machine as well as the non-working machine. Okay, so this is a one troubleshooting step. In case I have seen some scenario, even this telnet layer 4 connectivity is working fine, but still they are not able to communicate. Okay, so I will also show you through a Wireshark how we check the connectivity up to a layer 7, but through telnet, guys, we can also check the connectivity up to a layer 4. Okay. Okay, guys. Any question?
हेलो
Yes.
सर फिजिकल और लॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम को डिफरेंशिएट आप कैसे करते हैं जब आप कंपनी में काम करते हैं?
It depends, like
physically,
logically, like for example, you see, like in this case, like let's say my port is went to the error disable. Okay, so I check the reason. Okay, I check the reason, as I told you, like if it's showing BPDU, okay, BPDU the port is went to the error disable because of the BPDU. That definitely that's not a physical issue. Okay, if it is, let's say, by the link flap, then link flap or maybe some error, CRC error, it can be because of the physical problem. Okay, so let's say if you're seeing the feature, if you're seeing any problem, let's say with your protocol like LACP, HTTP, BPDU or something like this, so that mostly based on your configuration, right? Maybe your configuration configured on a wrong port, maybe something is wrong with your configuration, but sometimes like these error, like link flap or maybe CRC error, and you like check the configuration, have duplex setting. So obviously, like the first time, like you always check the configuration. Okay, if your configuration seems fine, then the next step could be, it can be related with the physical. Okay, but if you have an issue with specific topic wise, like let's say STP or BPDU, then obviously this is related with your configuration. Okay, not with the physical thing. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
तो ये सर एक क्वेश्चन था कि एक लिंक था एक इथरनेट का, तो वहाँ पे स्विच पे नॉट कनेक्टेड दिखा रहा था, लेकिन फिजिकली वो कनेक्टेड था वहाँ पे। लेकिन बाद में उन लोग को पता चला कि वो पोर्ट का कुछ तो हार्डवेयर इशू था,
हाँ राइट।
लेकिन
हाँ
मुझे समझ में नहीं आया कि उन्होंने आइडेंटिफाई कैसे किया वो चीज।
So maybe like that's why like let's say आपने एक केबल लगाई, when you connect the cable on a switch port and it's not showing any light, so next step you will try to change the cable, you will try to change the port. That's you how figure out, okay, like maybe the cable is bad. Like let's say you connect the cable, port is not showing up, you maybe try to change to use the other cable, right? If that won't work, maybe you try to use the other port. Clear, Abhishek?
यस सर, यस।
If you don't have any question, guys, like we can close the call and we will see you tomorrow next weekend.
By one, can you please show which images you are using on Core 1? Right click. Can you please switch off?
I'm using Cisco IOV switch.
Can you please by switch off, or you can show right
Yeah,
here? Show.
yeah. If you see node, I'm using this one, Cisco IOV switch is Android.
No, no. But can you please click on which one?
This one, 15.2, I believe.
Okay, okay. And on router?
Same router
Okay.
node. No, same. Let me check. So Cisco IOSB. This one, 15.6.
Okay, bye. Okay. ठीक है, bye. Thank you.
Okay, guys. See you next weekend. Okay. Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye, bye.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Sir.